should have. I should have brushed my hair. I just thought about it now. I'm like, oh crap, I hit live. I should have like refreshed really quick, but whatever. Just forget it. Lesson learned. I'll do that next time. Okay. Start recording and maybe save it. Live, I should have like refreshed really quick, but whatever. Did it save? I hit the save button and it saved. I don't think I could be too loud right now because Enzo is taking a nap and I really should be working. I'm sorry if you guys are waiting on a response back for the HempWorks affiliate thing, message Jeff. I'm literally sending you guys Jeff's cell phone number if you've enrolled because he is like on point and he's going to be helping you. Like, in order for me to do this and keep doing this, Jeff, while I'm able to do this and my son's sleeping, Jeff takes those like 2 hours and he tries to fit in at least 3 different one-on-one calls. So please don't feel like I'm ignoring you. He's actually way better at that topic and he has all of the like resources and material for you guys. So please get with that. Jeff will help you. He's like probably like, did she just say she's going to give out my cell? Little does he, I've already given out his cell to like 5 people. So, okay. Just so he could do that, because I feel like, yes, I should be learning and understanding a compensation plan right now, but this stuff's just way more interesting. So thank you for your understanding. Okay, so really quick, I'll talk about where my parents left me. My parents left me with this maid. Now, in the when you're in a third world country, you have help, which is also why there's like you don't really hear of women having postpartum in third world countries. In the Philippines, especially in the 80s, when we were actually going through real martial law, if you are making American dollars, you can have, and even to this day, you can have a full-time maid, a full-time nanny that's with your kids 24/7, as long as you feed them, clothe them, and give them $100 a month, the equivalent of $100 a month, okay? I have fully explained in detail that and how that works in other countries. Women there have the help, They're giving birth and they're able to like go and take a shower. They're able to go and have a date night with their husband the following week because they have people there that can take care of their kids. Now, every now and then, an idiot slips through the cracks, okay? Yes, my parents had fired maids. This is just where I'm from, all right? Don't judge my parents. This was the life. Everybody did this. It doesn't make it right, but everybody did this. We were a family of 5. We had a staff of like 7. This is why I have so many relatives that are in their 40s and 50s that still don't know how to drive. You wouldn't need to know how to drive a car if your driver every month was about $120 and they just drove you everywhere, okay? You wouldn't need to know how to cook really because your cook every month is like around $100. You know what I'm saying? So like, this is why a lot of expats working in America and open up businesses in the Philippines or have to go there for a little bit, they end up staying there because you could live like a king if you're making American money. Services are so cheap. You can have family members that they laugh at me because for me, it's a treat to go and get a massage. Like if I go and get a massage out here, it's such a treat because why? An hour massage, you're paying like, what, $100? And then you got a tip and it's expensive. Over there, with tip, for somebody to come to your house after work is like $7 for an hour. This is why when I go back to the Philippines, if I'm there for 3 weeks, I'm getting a massage every day. $7. Like literally, I'll get a massage every day because that would just make up my flight. Now, it's just that if you go there and your husband goes there too, you got to make sure that like the door stays open. Just kidding. Well, because these people are like, they're really desperate. They're really poor. So for like an extra $2, they'll finish him off, And then that you make up your own mind if that's something that you're okay with. Because for you, like some women are like, well, I'd rather pay somebody $2 so that I don't have to do that. I'm just kidding. That's just my 6th sense of humor. Leave me alone. So, but you can get all the services there. Okay, so anyways, we had maids. And I had, and we called them yayas. So I grew up with a yaya baby. It was amazing. And a lot of these yayas, they stay with the family forever. Like the yaya that was at my grandmother's house, she was there with my grandmother until my grandmother passed away, you know? And then after my grandmother passed away, she still lived with my uncle until she was like old enough and retired, and she went back to the provinces. This is just the life. So there was one maid named Elsa who was actually like the devil. And it's really what it's so when we were kids and my parents would leave, like my mom would go, she didn't work, so what did she do? I think she would just be I mean, my mom and her sisters, they would play mahjong all day. I love them. My mom, there's 7 sisters, okay? If you get them all together in a room, it's the most fantastic thing to see in your life. But they literally could have a show about them, these 7 sisters. They play mahjong all day long. Like, guys, it was that bad that when my parents came to America, because my dad had to come out here for church and to like start up churches and to get his ministry thing going, he had to like hire a German missionary's wife to teach my mom how to cook. Okay, so my mom was learning how to cook like in her 20s, and she was learning basic things. Like my mom would have like mini breakdowns and meltdowns because she didn't know how to work the washing machine in our house. Okay, just imagine. So my parents never really had to change our diapers, which is why we were all cloth diapered. They didn't have to change a diaper in their life. The first diaper my dad changed was my daughter's. And then sometimes when I'm explaining like how hard some days are, because I'm like, oh, we got to watch Enzo and like I'm not able to do this, or even with my other babies, like he'll like sit on the phone and just be like, wow, yeah, I don't know what that's like. And I'm like, of course you don't. Of course you don't. So anyways, why am I even living in this country anymore? I'm just going to jet set back to the Philippines and just stay there. That could be a thing, actually. Did we really just travel? Did we wait in America and line up for 15 years to like do the proper paperwork to get you guys to be citizens in this country, and you're just going to move back? So, and this is more of like culture, family sense. There's like really big family ties there. So it's like better, you know, it's not the culture that just kicks their parents out when they're too old and disgusting. And it's not like the culture that will kick a kid out when they're past 18. So I just feel like America has no culture anymore. We have no sense of like family, no sense of tribe. You know, America is the country where you're suing your parents and you're suing your siblings on Judge Judy. So anyway, back to this maid thing really quick. This woman, Elsa, do you see how bad I am? I go off on so many. So this woman, Elsa, when my parents were out of the house, would, in order for my brother and I, because my sister was still a baby, there were a few maids, and Elsa was like the maid, okay? She was like the main maid, so the other maids, like, even though they hated her, like, bowed down to her, okay? Which I ended up finding out later on in life that, like, those other maids were her sisters. They were, like, her younger sisters. So she's been bossing them around her whole life. So she would threaten my brother and I, in order to eat like our food and finish our food, she would threaten us with Tabasco sauce. And this is why to this day I can't take, like, if I smell Tabasco and if I have Tabasco, I get like really triggered. I get like flashback. It's like a trauma I still have to deal with, because she would put drops of Tabasco on our tongue because we weren't eating our food. And if you're going, how did you not tell your parents? Because of this, and this is what many adults do. They, first of all, they'll prey on kids that don't have proper family structure. So like if your kid doesn't have a father figure at home, it's easier to prey on those kind of kids. You notice that like these instructors and the priests and all that, they will prey mostly on the kids that, because the mom is so like, I need him to have a father figure in his life, so she's sending the kid off to a priest that's freaking a pedophile. And these are like cases and cases of this. But we had a decent family unit and structure. It's just this woman was like very brave, okay? So she would corner us and she'd be like, if you say anything, your parents will not believe you. And then she would threaten us at night. You guys, these women in the provinces, in third world countries, witchcraft. I know. This is a lot for people to do. There's still a lot of witchcraft. You're talking not the brooms where they're flying, but like they're very demonic and she would take her eyelids and she would flip them back to where they were all red. She would light these candles. She would say these freaking chants. She scared the shit out of us. I swear to you. And I was like 4 or 5. So like, we wouldn't say anything. But the worst thing that she would do to me is when I would like be bad, because I was very like naughty, if you can imagine. She would lock me in my dad's closet and she would start screaming out in Spanish, Filipino, like these chants about these green demons, okay, that were flying around, and she would turn the lights off in there. So I am in my 30s, and if I'm in a room that's pitch black and I open my eyes and it's pitch black, I will see green shit. And I know that it's all in my mind. I can't do anything about it. My dad's tried, like, I've tried. I've gone to people to try to help me with this, but like, I still have to sleep with a nightlight. I can't be in a room where I open my eyes and it's all, but my dad has tried. He's like, you're not going to be the person that if there's a power outage, because in the Philippines, we also had a lot of brownouts, you know, and it was like immediate candles because I would lose it and they didn't know why I would lose it. I finally told my dad what she would do because I finally told him when we were already in America. And he was so enraged, like he wanted to kill somebody. How could you not tell me? Because she said if I told you, she would do ... She would threaten that she would hurt my sister, who was just a baby. Like, this was a very evil, terrible person. Okay? Yes. Oh my God, you guys, that scene in Sleeping Beauty and that music, I just chills up my back because I can't. I know I need to try something. I'm not about to go do the hypnotist thing, although it's been suggested by a lot of people. I need prayer. I know it's in my freaking mind. I know that, like, God created the darkness. This is how fucked people are, man. I know that God created the darkness. So why should we fear the darkness? Okay, I get that. But it's something that I've had to, like, live with because of... This happens in third world countries. You know, you want to talk about exorcisms, like that movie, The Exorcist, and why it's done this to so many people. I mean, this barely talked about in Western culture. Like, it's barely, but my dad has been to actual exorcisms where, like, these people, their heads go completely back, their tongues drop to the floor. All right? This is, like, still happens. And people think that the devil is not alive and present in this way. He's alive and present. Our family has had curses on it. We've had like the real type curses where like the firstborn in the family, where my dad has had to make a pilgrimage back to the Philippines to pray against these curses because we had relatives that burned idols that were pure gold and they would burn and melt them. And this entire town that was very provincial and just in that mind literally cursed my great grandparents. And guys, my dad, a lot of his first cousins, it was this thing where the firstborn was just getting offed. We got family history like that. You think what you want of me at this point. I don't even care. But we've had history like that, and the firstborn gets... So, of course, you know, we have to pray against these things. So... I know. I've had my dad, he's like trapped me. He's tried to like put me in the bathroom and he's like, I'm on the other side of the door. Okay, I'm on the other side of the door. When you say so, I'll open the door. Like, you're not going to be stuck in here. And as a kid, he would try these things with me in Pasadena. And I couldn't. I was literally like, I become a 5-year-old again. It's so terrible. So, and he'd remember. He'd be like, no wonder. I'd come home from work and you'd be like in the closet. And when I opened the closet door, you would just be sitting there with your eyes wide open as if you've been seeing ghosts. Like, she would do this to me. Okay? And I'm already a strong person. At least I think I am some days. The power that these adults have on children, and when you ask these children that grow up into being adults how they could never talk about their molestation, I get it. Like, I get it. Thankfully, I wasn't sexually abused, but I was definitely mind, all right? Big time. These are people that my parents trusted with their babies. Like they were already, and they were living in our home. It's not like they were dropping me off for 8 hours and picking me up and then I'd be like safe in my home, you know? There's a reason for everything. This woman eventually was fired. She was caught stealing. So they fired her and like things started getting a little bit better, but the damage was kind of already done. And you're, you know, taking your babies. I totally get it for the parents that are just like not willing to risk it, that anybody watches their kids. It's like really hard to find somebody you can trust to watch your kids. Meanwhile, we're just sending our kids off to school. Who knows? Any dark corner, any person with bad intent, and they look for the weaker kids. Which is why I just try my hardest to like get my kids so strong up here, and I have conversations with them from when they were like 4. If any adult takes you aside and tells you that your parents will not believe you, or that I've had conversations like this with my kids. Yeah, it's very uncomfortable, isn't it? But I trust my children, and I want them to know that I will believe them. Nobody likes to talk about stuff like this. I want my kids to know that I will believe them. You got a lot of predators out there. Do you know, like, you're in a very deranged society too. Once again, going back to the first live, we're in a society that doesn't even recognize babies as human beings, right? Until they're like born and breathing, and even then it's questionable. So understand your surroundings is what I'm saying. And moving into, I want to make this somewhat educational, but for the people that are still torn, like, well, yeah, I understand now. I understand these things are this is all scripted. Talking to parents. I understand these things are poison, but I still need to take my baby somewhere. I can honestly talk about the Philippines and third world countries and stuff. Like, I could probably talk about that all day long. I really could, but I want to steer a little bit. This is why going back to like having to take responsibility for your own life and taking charge of your own family is so important, because nobody else is going to be able to do it as good as you. Nobody else is going to love your babies as much as you. And that's scary. That's scary when half the time you're like irritated with them. So just think, if you can get irritated with your own kids, I'll let you use your imagination for that one. You're taking your child and you're torn because you can no longer take your child. Look at this. Look at the society. Look at where we're at right now. You're taking your child to somebody who has learned these 3 things. When you're like dying to have a family doctor, you're dying to have a pediatrician, you're like, what do I do if I don't have somebody that I can go to? You're brainwashed, first of all, because this person that you're taking your precious baby to doesn't even know your baby. They are taught how to administer, they're taught to memorize the schedule, they're taught to possibly memorize the bonuses, how to look up insurance payouts, and how to diagnose you, that for coincidentally, your insurance will cover it. And then they're taught how to bully and intimidate parents, because they are actually taught vaccine hesitancy. I have this Kaiser PDF that was sent to me months ago, and we've talked about it before. I won't break it down too much like I did on the live. I did this live already like a while back, but this is an actual from Kaiser Permanente, how they're training up their nurses and their pediatricians. So instead of teaching these people actual ingredients, they are teaching them this. This is guys, this is from Kaiser, okay? Look at what they're learning. Effective persuasion without confrontation. A new approach to influencing immunization decisions. All right, let's scroll. Look at this. It's a very elaborate PDF, all right? Things they can use, how to go, but you guys, you know what this ended up being when we did the breakdown on it? It ended up being one big script. So imagine being a nurse, imagine going to school, wanting to be a nurse to help people, and then finding out that you're also going through, what would you call it? Like acting class. It's like you're also taking performing arts and you're not even realizing it. Have you ever wanted a better way to persuade parents to immunize their children? Have you ever dreaded talking to parents who refuse vaccines? Are you alarmed at the growing rate of vaccine refusal in your practice? Then effective persuasion without confrontation is for you. How about learn the fucking... You know what? Forget it. Okay, so then this is from Kaiser Permanente Medical Group, okay? This was sent by like a whistleblower nurses who mean well. They goes over the foundational concepts. It goes over tools to use, all right? The cognitive ease technique puts parents in a comfortable, receptive state. The parent is most likely to be receptive to persuasion. Not you're going to convince them with the science. You're going to persuade this parent, all right? Like, just the wording on here should terrify you if this is the person you seriously still want to go to. I know this one's here sideways, but it's all from Kaiser. You guys, this breakdown, oh my gosh. Members of the Vaccine Persuasion Strategy Group. Here we go. Look these people up. Look these people up. This is actually sick when you think about it. The unsure parent, okay? Persuasive tools and strategies, advantageous words, repeat words such as protection and keep the baby safe. Some very hesitant parents may be sensitive to the word vaccine. Also try to use yes, and instead of yes, but when you disagree. Instead of it, use yes, but, sorry. Guys, employ the identity strategy. I know you want what's best for your baby, and it's wonderful that you're thinking about all the ways you can protect him. I want to work with you to protect him as well. You seriously, how much more proof do some of you people need? Look at this. Scripts. Demonstration with scripts. Look at the setting. Dr. Patterson's office in Hayward, California. Mr. and Mrs. Smith bring their first baby Isabel for her 2-month appointment, and they look nervous. Look at you. Look at Isabel. She looks great. She's so alert. Of course she's so alert. She hasn't been freaking poisoned yet. It's her first poison schedule. How have you been? She's amazing. She's doing well. Okay, fine. Look, we're not sure about getting Isabel vaccinated. This is the father. Of course, you're good parents. I expect parents to have questions. I always ask my doctors questions too. What's on your mind? I've heard vaccines have bad side effects. We don't want to hurt the baby. What do you think? Like, this is narration. Very minor side effects like fussiness or low fever for the day are common. You guys, calm the frick on. Look at this. There's multiple scenarios. This is all script shit. This is all scripted. What exactly to say to these parents instead of showing them the scientific proof because there is none, instead of showing them the studies because there are none? Are you guys listening? Aren't vaccines dangerous? We're going all natural. Like, look at what they're taught to say. Just kills me that you still have parents that actually, even after you show them all of this, they are still like, well, but what do I do then? Who's going to tell me that my kid's doing okay? Like, golly, this is just absolute, like, I've sent that out to a lot of people, and I would, Instagram doesn't give me a swipe up option because I'm a private account, which is why need to figure my stuff out. Like, I can't even get an Amazon account, guys, because I'm private, which sucks. What can you get for an Amazon account? You can't even get like $2. But I'm like, this sucks. But if the thing is, if I go public, I'll have to delete off all my highlights. I just know it. Or if I don't delete them, they will be reported and missing. We've shared this a bunch before. I can put the link to the PDF. Like, I can type it out if you're willing to type it out. Okay? It's an actual Kaiser PDF. And a lot of people have it on here. Yeah, fine. We'll share it. We'll do this. But where is it? Oh, I don't have the... It's because it was emailed to me. But I've shared it multiple times. Sorry. Wait, let me keep moving on, and I'll get that to you. Or you can email me. No, shit. Last time I said to email me, I had 400 emails that I had to send this off to. I really should work on like a mass email account. And then somebody on here was offering to do like a virtual assistant for me, but then I don't know yet. Okay. Look, when you're entering into the office right now, I've mentioned this before, you are entering into the lion's den. After you've seen proof like this, all right, this is from Kaiser Permanente Medical Group. You could probably call them and ask them for it and see what they say. Let's do it. Let's go to Kaiser next. You're entering into the lion's den, and if you are not informed, you are this little sheep with just a bunch of questions and concerns. Have you asked yourself why you're going there in the first place? Your baby woke up happy. Your baby woke up happy, probably giggling, cooing. Baby's excited to see new shapes, new things, colors. They're excited to see you, mom. They're excited to smell you and just be with you and be held by you. But you're going to do this to them at least 5 times in the first year of their life. Why? Because of the indoctrination. Because society has led you to believe, and sorry if I'm looking up, I'm like reading notes, because I write, so that's when you see me looking up at stuff, okay? Society has led you to believe that you are not only ill-equipped, but you need some kind of validity that you are doing okay as a parent. You need the thumbs up from the guy and the girl in the white coat that you're so afraid to ask questions to, because why? Well, you fill in the blank. Because you've likely been taught that you're not supposed to, you're first of all supposed to just respect them. Like, in that case, we should just respect any person that went to college and is in debt. I said it. You're supposed to respect them and not question them, because why? The doctor knows best. Like, I should be respected because I've spent 10 years on studying up my camera, and like I know exactly how to shoot in manual with any kind of light setting. Like, I should just be respected because I'm a photographer that's been doing it for that long. Like, this is really how stupid it sounds at this point, because they're not taught anything else. They're just glorified drug pushers. So conformity, brainwashing, as if every other day of the year you got this as a parent, except for those days. Just those days, you don't really got this. Right? That's what this is. But these well checks, which are actually just vaccine visits, leave you doubting yourself. And there's a design, clearly. Because that entire pamphlet, dealing with parents who have vaccine hesitancy, I could have written that pamphlet in 1 page. It wouldn't have had to be this like 10 scripts, okay? It would have been 1 page. How to deal with a parent who has vaccine hesitancy. Show them the science that vaccines are safe and effective. Show them the safety studies that don't exist. Show them that you're actually getting immunity to this, and it's decent immunity. We know natural immunity is the best immunity, but the fact that you have to go back in a couple months to get a booster for it, where they're not even going to check your baby's titers to see, did your baby's body even create antibodies to the DTaP? Because we're about to give them a second dose of the DTaP. They're not offering to do that shit for you. Why? Why aren't they offering to do that to you? What if your baby didn't even build up antibodies to it, which tells you it doesn't work on your baby, so you're going to boost them up with something again? It's one of the worst ones, by the way. Or what if it did build up antibodies to it, and then, hey, I don't really need this anymore. No, you need it. Because we're anti-logic. We're criminals. just legally. Just we can do this legally, okay? It's a vaccine visit. You can't weigh and measure your baby at home? Really? You really want to know? There's baby tracking apps. You know, you can go to a midwife if you need to. You could learn how to check their lungs to see if like fluid has been filling up in there. Like these are things we're going to have to start doing on our own, because God forbid you take them to one of these places and you're just trying to get some kind of somebody to tell you like, well, everything's great, they're progressing normally. But if you say no to their shot schedule, then they're going to call CPS on your ass in some states. Do you see how? I'm going to show you something else that's actually really terrifying in just a second. You're taking your baby to what this country has on record as, you're taking them to somebody who is in the third leading cause of death in this country. Ultimately, 250,000 deaths yearly due to medical malpractice and error. And that's the person that you're taking your baby to. Like, that's all it is. Haven't you noticed what these visits are about? Can't you piece it together? Oh, they're so cute. They're doing, and then you know what? They'll tell you your baby is so cute, but the minute you say no or that you want to space out their immunizations, because no immunity comes from this, suddenly your baby's not as cute. Your kids are just not as cute anymore. Have you noticed? It's because now you're a waste of time in their office. Because they're trying to turn and burn. It's a business. They're trying to run a business. You keep wanting to go to a place, but then they make me sign this vaccine refusal form. Have you read the words in the refusal form? It's very incriminating. I know that by not giving them these life-saving vaccines, I'm putting my child's health at risk. I'm putting their lives at risk. You're basically signing off on a statement that says that you're a dumbass. Do you know that? But then how do I not sign that form? How about you stop going and patronizing a place that has that form to begin with? Because that form should just tell you that this place profits on the immunization schedule. They don't profit on healthy children. I'm sorry if this is too much for some of you. Bounce off. You realize that doctors have they've been imprisoned. Many doctors have already been imprisoned for falsely diagnosing patients with cancer when they never had cancer. What more children? And it's scarier for a kid, because as an adult, if you tell somebody I need a second opinion or a third opinion, what are they going to do? They're going to probably roll their eyes, mock you. They'll make fun of you. They'll make you feel like an idiot. But if you say no and you need a second opinion for a baby, have you looked up what's happening with medical kidnapping? Look up the case of Noah Bland. He was already cancer-free, but they recommended more chemo. The parents said no. The parents have not had their son almost a whole freaking year, okay? Have you seen what they're doing to the son? Have you seen the updates from Taylor Bland? He's been poisoned. He's so traumatized. Every time his parents go in to see him, he's like biting at them and scratching at them, because God knows what these nurses and doctors are putting into his mind. He's a baby. What they're doing to this family is so cruel and disgusting, and the news does not want to talk about it. These parents are broke. They have to lawyer up so badly. They can't be with their freaking kid. You think that this shit's not happening? Chemotherapy has never even been proven to actually, be better for you. It's poison. It's mustard gas poison. Going back to Operation Paperclip. Hello. They're using, and then you say no to it, and now that warrants CPS to come to you, or to come for you and come for your babies? Look at this article here. This was on NBCnews.com. Doctors, well, look at this shit. And you're still trusting these motherfuckers with your babies. You're still trusting them with your babies because you just feel so incompetent. Get competent. Shit. Is that a good enough answer for you? Start getting informed and knowing what to do with your kids when they're sick. Because it's better than the alternative. Look at this shit. This article here is on NBC News. Okay? I don't know how to, hold on. NBC News. Check this out. Doctors weren't just treating the toddler. They were quietly building a case against her mom. A mom lost custody after doctors accused her of exaggerating her daughter's health problems, but an investigation raises doubts about the evidence. Okay, so this is just one story of freaking many, all right? But this goes into what it is that, and reasons why they're doing this. They're saying it's because moms are faking their kids' illnesses for salacious headlines. So these are things that doctors are now looking out for. And I'm telling you, these are still the people that you're taking your babies to. Even though medical abuse is on the rise and they're admitting all of this. So here we go. Second guessing years of treatment. Oh no, do I have to? This woman sent me all of these. How do I even post this on here? 1 second. It's like my computer's freezing. She sent me all of the like little clips too that would make this easier for me to like talk about. Where is the... Okay, here we go. Signs of abuse. You guys, check this out. Doctors who suspect medical child abuse look for a mother who, and you guys got to take this right now and consider, would I qualify as abusing my kid going by these standards of what doctors are looking out for? This is some scary shit, okay? Doctors suspect medical abuse, child abuse, and look for mothers who repeatedly report health problems that are not verified by medical testing. Oh my God. So you think you're going in there for help from a doctor and and they're actually like looking for ways to report your ass. Can you imagine? And you still have parents that are like, well, I need to find a doctor. No, you don't. Seeks second and third opinions from doctors when medical tests come back negative. So that's abusive to them. If you want a second and third opinion, is unwilling to leave a sick child's side. Holy. Is fluent in medical terminology or who relies on internet searches to propose diagnosis. You guys? So if a mom says things like this, when I searched Google, if you say autoimmune disorder, if you start saying things like this that are going to question their intelligence, that is a sign that you're abusing your children to some of these doctors. Look at this. If you publicly seek donations to help pay for the cost of a child's medical treatment, because why? Anything that's actually working is not covered by flipping insurance. Are you guys seeing this shit? Look at the signs they look out for. All of those signs are basically from an educated parent. If you want to tell them that your kid is experiencing seizures, but they haven't verified this shit by medical testing, that's a sign of abuse to them. Holy crap. How much more in your face do you need this? Like, do you need? How much more? How much more freaking evidence? So you still want to go to these people? You still trust your baby's health in the hands of these people? This is on NBC News. Because there's a case that a mom was able to build, one case where they're able to build up where she's proving that that the doctor was actually not trying to help her and her kid. They were out to build a case against her. This is why doctors can call CPS on you. They get to violate that with HIPAA. If a doctor wants to contact your previous doctor about health statements and records, they have to go through so many steps. They got to fax in paperwork. They got to sign off because it's like patient. It's protecting you, protecting your health stuff. The only time they get to cross that line, they get to make that call and not go through you, is when they get to contact CPS. Tell me you still live in a very fair world right now. Who are you depending on for your kid's health? Who do you continuously want to go to for your kid's health? Basically a trained monkey. Can you imagine just having very valid, legitimate questions, caring so much about your damn child, and you're going to a person that might be in the back of their head building up a case against you? That they're not even hearing the question. All they heard was that you were searching the internet. Are you... You know, it's $6,000 that a doctor bonuses. It's roughly $6,000 last I checked, that they'll bonus for every patient that they get to start chemotherapy on. Did you know that? No, you didn't know that because nobody checks this shit. Some of you know that. Some of you are very awake to that and understand billing and understand bonuses. But when an adult requests a second opinion, once again, you'll be scoffed at. But if a parent requests the second opinion for their child, it's almost blasphemy. It's almost like a, if you haven't noticed, it's a similar reaction that you'd get from telling a Scientologist that they're in an actual cult. First of all, my distrust, my paranoia, you can call me paranoid all you damn well please. I don't give a, you guys, once again, I'd love to be wrong on everything I talk about. I would have loved to be wrong. You realize I'd love to be wrong. I will be called paranoid 24/7. I'll be called paranoid all day long because get this, my paranoia is the reason that my kids don't have allergies. My paranoia is the reason that they get maybe one cold a year. My paranoia, I'll take my chances on me and my God-given gut instinct, okay? That gut instinct, that's the freaking Holy Spirit, man. Many times have you not followed your gut instinct and you've just been regretful all day long. That gut instinct, once again, that tells you that strapping a baby down and putting them through a procedure like this that's going to be painful is like all kinds of wrong. Don't do it. My gut instinct, I'll go with that all day long because it seldom steers me wrong. And I'd rather chance my baby's life. I'd rather do that than chance my baby's life on an industry that is the third leading cause of death in this country. What does that mean, though? What does it mean? What does it all mean? It means you have to be a freaking parent again. You have to know what the hell to do with a kid when they're sick. Society knows that you're mostly incompetent and dependent on their experts. Have you seen the experts? Have you seen them? Have you seen the best the experts can do? The people who want to force the shots on you, they can't even guarantee a 10% effective rate. Have you been paying attention to the experts and who they're calling experts? It's downright embarrassing. Amateurs are doing a better job. Well, I don't know about you, but I've not had to take my kid in. We don't deal with any of it. I've never had to deal with one ear infection. Call it luck. Call it freaking luck and call it my paranoia. I've never had to deal with an ear infection. I've had to deal with one pink eye infection, which lasted all of 10 minutes, and you guys saw that. I squirted breast milk directly into my baby's eye, into Amelia's eye. And go figure, pink eye was gone. Thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus, for equipping us. Amateurs are doing a better job. Doctors, they don't even know what to do with healthy patients. They stare at them in amazement. They stare at you like you've brought in the gold hand of Midas when you've told them that your kid has just miraculously survived. These scary mommies, because that's exactly what they are. Have you noticed their argument? Their leading argument and the memes they want to post, they want to say that our kids don't make it past the age of 8. I've not seen a story of one unvaccinated child in America that has just fallen over dead because they didn't have these life-saving vaccines. They can't even show one story of a kid that fell over. But you know what? They can call us the top 10 global health threat. So which is it? Are we a threat to your health because we grow into adults that are still not wanting the poison in their system? We haven't fallen for it like you sheep? Or are we like so weak and that we can just fall over and die? Which one is it? Which one is it, you absolute... Embarrassing. Embarrassing. They stare at my kids like they're magical unicorns, because they are, apparently. Because only a magical unicorn kid can walk around town, get a disease, not go through the actual symptoms of the disease, but for whatever flipping reason, pass it on to your kid that's had the vaccines. So your vaccinated kid is now, like, are you a dumbass? I'm sorry. Like, how stupid and far gone are you? How far gone are you? That Tamron chick, they pulled that episode because of how badly she embarrassed herself. I don't watch that show, but I saw the clips. Look, I'm not gonna let my kid hug you because you haven't had vaccines, but you're here on stage in front of a live studio audience, and like for whatever reason, not just I bet everybody in that audience went home. Nobody got the damn measles. Like, this woman is a joke. A joke. You embarrassed yourself big time. You guys wanted to see my freaking response to that? I'll have to do another segment because I watched it. I probably should have recorded myself with Jeff watching that segment, or maybe not because of the stuff coming out of my mouth. Just whatever it is, overall embarrassing. Like, really embarrassing. Are you asking yourself, if you're so pro-vaccine, are you asking yourself how all these people are alive? Do you think it's because God loves them more than he loves you? Like, what do you think? That article the other day from Fox News, that unvaccinated people may be the ones spreading whooping cough to the vaccinated people. What? That should tell anybody. That should tell a 5-year-old. Well, gee, that tells me that the vaccine does not work. Nope, it doesn't, because if you're so calcified and fluoridated, you will look at an article like that, being fully vaccinated, and go, oh my God, yes. That's why I've poisoned myself and I'm still getting pertussis. That is why I have poisoned myself and I'm still getting pertussis, because these people are not poisoning themselves. You are an embarrassment to society. Like, you are... I can't do it. If you're like single and you're looking around to like date somebody and there's like a guy out there and he's so pro-vaccine, like, you know my libido would have immediately. Oh my God. Warnings. Red flag. That's a red flag alert. The idiocy that we're surrounded by. You gotta convince us first. You guys, lawsuits. You guys saw what was going on with the Zantac thing? I was gonna do a whole thing on that, but whatever. Enough people have understood it. You've seen it. It's a drug. It's getting recalled. A drug that they were pushing on babies, recalled now from all kinds of terrible effects. Because once again, vaccines and medicine are two completely different things. We are in a time, in a country, that can put an FDA stamp of approval on something that can still cause all kinds of damage to your system and failure. And get this, when it happens and they have to like own up to it, they will never own up to the vaccine thing. We've discussed this because there would be freak out pandemonium all over the place. Pandemonium. So they'll never admit it. That's why it's fun to just sometimes like get on Twitter and just like be the thorn in the side to these doctors that don't know how to respond to anything. Because they don't. They're repeating the same shit. And it's embarrassing. But here, I got just a quick look at us as human beings right now. Okay? When I was 15 years old, I already had my permit to drive my car, I made a really stupid decision at 15. Stupid decision. where I thought that I could lie to my parents about something. And this was time before cell phones. Anyway, I took a train from San Diego to Los Angeles. I took an Amtrak. I told my parents I was going to some school event for the weekend, made up this whole elaborate lie just so I could see and hang out with friends look, pastor's daughter, okay? Just very issues because my parents wouldn't even allow me to go to like an ice cream social. Like my dad would just be like, we have ice cream here. Dad, can I go sleep over this person's house? And you have a bed here. Like, this is how I grew up, okay? I get it now. I wish my parents were like, we don't want you sleeping over at anybody's house because we think that anybody could be a child molester. I wish that they had those conversations with me because then it would have made more sense, although they probably wouldn't want to tell me that because then I'd tell my friends, oh, my dad thinks that your dad is going to molest me. You know, like, okay. So a lifetime of this, I was only 15, but think about it. I wasn't allowed to do anything. So I made up this lie so that I can go see friends in LA because we kept moving. My dad kept getting transferred to churches and whatever, and we just freaking had to move all the time. So I took this train. And whatever, I got caught, okay, because one of my friends grew a conscience and she called my mom to tell my mom, and my mom was like, oh my god, this one is an actual friend of yours. The other friends who lied for you, those are not real friends. But she called my mom to tell my mom like that she was crying. I need you to know where Natalia really is. Okay, I didn't want to talk to this person for years. It's like, how dare you? But I mean, ultimately I'm glad. Like I got my ass kicked, but I'm glad. I couldn't drive. I lost all privileges. But here's the thing. After all the punishments happened, my mom had to drive to LA, you guys. That drive back home was so long. That 2-hour drive back home felt like a day. Because I knew as soon as she parked the car, she was gonna kill me. And I have that like, isn't that Asian? I'm whatever. Filipino mom, right? Filipino Spanish. She's the kind of mom that's like, I'm like going like this, and she's like, stop blocking my hits. I'll never forget that because then I wanted to laugh as I was crying. I was crying because it hurt, but then I was laughing because she was getting so upset that I was blocking her hits. Like basic human reaction to like someone's attacking you and you're like trying to make it so you're not getting attacked as badly, and she was getting more mad at me for like protecting myself. I'm cynical, okay? But here's the thing. I have a point. My dad was out of town when all this was going down. This is especially why I did this because, you know, every teenager goes through that phase where they just can't stand their moms. Their mom could be the best person in their life. They hate their moms, right? So just get this with you. If the father figure is not around at home, that's when the kids go and things up, man. That's when we would act out, when our dad would go on these long business trips. So my dad finally comes back, okay? And it's already been like a day or 2 days. My mom's just not talking to me. Really, really uncomfortable at the house, if you can imagine. And this is when I got dubbed like the black sheep of the family. But I made all those mistakes like in those teenage years versus like the people who are very secretive. Like if you're a Cancer for whatever reason, you just like, you would rather like sit back and see but you're still going to do it because you're like very secretive and you're just going to like do it anyways. And anyway, I'm kidding. That's not all Cancers. It's not, but it's a lot of you. Even though I'm not really down with the whole astrology thing for whatever reason. Okay. So my dad gets back home, and my dad, I'm like, you know, because with my mom, I'm just like, whatever. She's already freaking boxed me. You guys don't understand where we grow, okay? Kids nowadays threatening their parents that they're going to call CPS on their parents. If I ever threatened my dad, I think I did one time. I was like, I'm going to call, you know, my friend said that if you do this, that you can call this number. My dad was like, you won't have fingers to call that number. How are you going to call that number with no fingers? I'm just saying. That's like the household I grew up in. So, I love my parents. But so like I really like, you know, I valued my dad, and like I was just like, okay, dad's home, he's probably gonna beat my ass too, or something is gonna happen. Like, you know, I think I'm too old now for him to like spank, so but something's gonna happen. And I got the call, Talia, and it's, he uses my full name when I'm in trouble, so it's Natalia. Natalia. Get in here. Freaking world was falling apart. So I slowly walked to his room. It was like the death row walk. And he's sitting on his bed, and I'm ready for it. I'm ready for something to get thrown at my face, and he stares at me and he goes, "You know what you did was wrong." I said, "Yeah." "Are you sorry about what you did?" I said, "Yeah." "Will you ever do that again?" "No, I promise. No, I'll never do that again." And then he ends it with this: "You've lost my trust. I don't trust you anymore. And that hurts me to say as a father, that I can't trust my own daughter." I don't care what physical anything I had gone through my entire life up until that point. Those words that came out of my father's mouth hurt me more than anything that I had been through. I was look at me to this day. I was it crushed me that my father couldn't trust me. Years went by to regain my father's trust. Why am I bringing this up? Because when somebody does you wrong, or hurts your baby, or lies to you, or whatever, right? If somebody in your life, like a friend or an acquaintance, does you wrong, how hard is it as a human being to forgive that person? Think of all the bridges you've maybe burned in your life over, honestly, pretty forgivable things. Because humans make mistakes. We're capable of human error. We're all human, right? We make mistakes. But how many people in your life have you closed the door on and have you burned a bridge with over a mistake? Over a lie? Why then does the medical industry in your life get a pass? Have you thought about this? Why then does an entire industry that doesn't even have the answers, that because they have a degree up on their wall, why do they continuously get a pass? Do you know how many people you have to probably call up right now and forgive if you have continued to go back to an industry like this? It's flooring. I have cut ties in relationships with people over things like money, bad investments, things that you really couldn't foresee, but I just felt burned so badly that I just don't want anything to do with these people anymore. How many people, family, friends, over little petty things like that? But you will not cut ties with an industry that is profiting the sicker you are. Are you not even noticing? Are you so far gone and indoctrinated and brainwashed that you don't even notice when that your baby is getting progressively worse? Are you actually going to continue to go to somebody that's going to tell you that your baby can't have one drop of honey? That your baby can't, if you're going to introduce your baby to new foods, it shouldn't be all at once, like broccoli for one whole week to just make sure they're not allergic. And then the next week you can do, whatever. You could do beets, anything else under the sun, just to make sure that they're not allergic. But then you want to ask that person, well, is my baby allergic to formaldehyde? Or are they maybe allergic to neomycin if it's injected? And their immediate response to you is that they're going to scoff at you and possibly track you? Some people are so incredibly far gone and they're not even piecing this together. Okay? Well, then who do I go to? Guys, I know I'm probably a stranger to you, But if you need somebody in your life to just tell you that you're doing okay, mama, you're doing okay, dad, you're doing okay. I don't know if that means anything to any of you. This is why it's so important to tribe up and find a tribe that's similar in your views, because even I have moments in my life where I'm feeling like, oh, ill-equipped, or like, yeah, a cold scares me sometimes with my kids. Like, great. I think it's scarier just knowing like, okay, the next 2 days are going to suck. But I have friends in my life that I can call that can like comfort me during these times, because that's all we need. When you realize that you're going to these people for just that extra bit of validity, then things start to make more sense and things get easier, okay? Find those people in your life. Surround yourself with people like that in your life that know that you're more than capable, even especially during the days when you don't feel like it. And that is what is so important about this and tribing up. And this is about to kick me off, so I'm going to go on down several more like rabbit holes for myself, and we will chat soon. But guys, try to enjoy your weekend if possible. Bye.